artist, film producer, music producer, calling in right now from my production studio in Spokane, Washington, Collective Influence Productions. And I'm really happy to be able to have this class with you guys, because I feel like at the beginning of my career, all I wanted to do was be a motivational speaker, and I wanted to be the best speaker that I could be. And that was going to be my only lane. And then it switched into music. And now with COVID, it's really switched into film. So the biggest thing I want to say in my introduction in taking this class is being open to what's out there and not getting a tunnel vision on, one lane of artistry, one lane of creativity, because there's so many out there. Film is one, digital storytelling is another, music is another. We have Roxanne that does amazing photography and videography. So we've got all these different lanes and all these different ways to tell our story. And this is just one way we want to teach you guys how to connect with yourself, with your friends, with your family, and be able to tell a little piece of your story in a safe way, in a way that you want to tell it, in a creative way too. So with that said, I just want to say I'm happy to be here. I hope you guys get a lot out of this, and we're gonna give our all, and we're gonna have fun. This is what we do for a living as well. We like to teach classes and switch it up a bit. This webinars, these webinars that are happening because of COVID are a little different. So we're going to be interactive with this. So we want to be able to vibe with you guys, but we want to hear your voices. We want you to have ownership of this space. We're holding space together. Your voice matters, and we want to help you amplify that voice. So, and I hope we accomplish that this week, or this month, for these next few weeks. So yeah, I'm James, and if you guys have any questions later on, go ahead and hit me in the chat. In the Zoom chat, there's a little button on the bottom. There's that little bubble that says chat. Even while Roxanne and I are teaching, we'll be interacting with people throughout the chat. You can private message me in there, or we can have an everyone. You can click the little tab here to everyone, or private message to anybody. So if you guys have any questions of me or anything like that, please don't be afraid to ask. I love them all. There's no dumb questions in this. We're all getting started in new ways to create. And yeah, I hope we get to build something special together. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, James. Before I introduce myself, I just wanted to ask Janelle if she wanted to share anything about this training and those that are helping make it possible, before I introduce myself, because then we're going to dive right in. That's why I'm going last.
Sure. Thanks, Roxanne, and thank you, James, and also my sister Jasmine for offering the prayer. So my name is Janelle Yearout. I am a Nez Perce tribal member, mom of 7, and also run the CDFI, which is a community development financial institution. So we do financial education, we do business development, we do lending, but one of my favorite things is youth and doing events. And so we were able to put on this digital storytelling. And I know COVID's been crazy with everyone being inside, but I wanted to provide an opportunity for youth to learn about art, about music, about things that you can do right now that helps tell your story, even right now during this crazy time. But in the future, using your voice, there's things like Me Too, there's the Native and Black Lives Matter. There's so much that's going on and so much material. And so you have a voice. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity for you to use it, to tell your story, but potentially there's a business like, with James and Roxanne, they are business people as well. And so we're just a connection, a conduit to those things. And I apologize because I didn't send out the Zoom link. We're actually recovering from coronavirus here that impacted, but we're still going to carry on. And thank you guys for being here. And also thank you to the Nez Perce tribe for providing some of the funding to help make this happen. I'm going to look at the registration page. So just for you guys that are on here is I'll be mailing a swag bag, and so you guys will get some wireless headphones and some other cool swag from the Nez Perce tribe, and also from Needing Poo Fund. But just go ahead and send me some questions, or type it into the chat, and Roxanne and James and myself can help you out. All right, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Janelle. My name is Roxanne Best. I'm an enrolled member of the Confederated Tribes of the Calva Reservation. I live in sunny Okanagan, Washington, and I currently am stationed in Spokane, Washington, in my friend's guest house, which is one of the amazing things about COVID, is that working remotely is a lot more convenient. So I can be wherever I am, and as long as I have internet or some sort of cell connection, I can continue to do what I love to do, which is share knowledge with other people. As Janelle and James both mentioned, I'm a business owner. My business name is Roxtography. I'm a photographer, and I also am a yoga instructor, and I am also a mother of 2 boys, and I am a multitasker. I believe I'm the best multitasker, but in reality, I'm the worst. And I love to cook. I'm a chef, and one of my favorite things to photograph, aside from people, is photographing food. And that is like, I never in a million years imagined that photographing the things that we eat would ever be some sort of opportunity for creating a business or for creating income in my life. And I started out in culinary art school thinking, ooh, I want to cook food. I love to cook for people because that's what aunties do, right? We make the good stuff for all the family. And so I went to culinary art school, and then discovered like I didn't want to do anything else except when the final dish was done and it was all presented all pretty. I wanted to get it in the really good light, and I brought my camera, and I spent more time taking photos of the food than actually preparing it. That's not true, but I felt like it. I actually made one of our first, we had sections in culinary school where we would get recipes, and what I did is I would photograph the food after it was done, and I made this big book with all the recipes and images to go along with it. But anyway, so all that to say, I'm super excited to be here. I used to be an underwater photographer and an underwater videographer, so I'm bringing a whole lot of different experiences to the table. And I don't think that I know everything, but I do have a lot of experience. I would never ever consider myself an expert. I'm like the jack of all trades, master of none. But I do have a lot of life experience and a lot of things to bring to the table that might not be the normal that you would be hearing. But anyway, I'm super excited to be here. I wish that we were doing this class in person, because it's so much more enjoyable to be able to interact with y'all, to see your faces. Right now, I only see a couple faces. And so I feed a lot off of energy. I'm a yoga instructor also. So I do all the things. Like if you ever look at my social media, it's always like, do epic things, do like all the things. It can be very exhausting, but it's
All
so
of the things.
rewarding.
All of them.
All the things. And so with this digital storytelling workshop, what we hope that you gain from this is the confidence to go out and create something for yourself, which is going to be part of this training. You are going to have a project to share with us at the end, at the final week. So we'll explain that at the end of class. So hold on and keep it in the back of your minds that the things that we're teaching you today and throughout the rest of our sessions are all meant to help you gather information and skills, and so that you can then create your own stories in whichever form you decide to choose. We're hoping it's going to be video or music or something like that. But if you're a photographer and that's your thing, then definitely embrace that as well. So with that said, I'm going to jump us right into the information. We're a little bit behind schedule, so we're going to try to honor time and stay on track. I need to figure out where my presentation went. Hold on one moment while I gather myself.
Yep.
And the puppies are enjoying themselves downstairs right now.
How many dogs are there?
There's only 2. There's 2 dogs and a cat.
Sounds like there's 20.
There's little dogs. There's little dogs. They think they're big dogs. So welcome to Digital Storytelling. My name is Roxanne, and my co-trainer is James Pakootas. In this session today, we are going to cover, we already had our opening prayer. We're going to do introductions, and introductions are going to be something different. I don't want to just hear your name, where you're from, and all that stuff. I want to hear that. We want to hear that, but we're going to deliver it in a really special way. And then we're going to give you a definition of what digital storytelling is. Going to give you some examples that James and I have pulled together. We're going to talk about values and vision. It's the belief of First Peoples Fund, and actually, once you realize how important values and vision are, you're going to understand why. Once you're strong in understanding what your values and vision are in your life, how that is going to steer the ship of your life, or it's going to be the direction. It's going to help to pull you in the directions that you want to go. We're going to talk about the homework. And then if you all don't know already, there is a Facebook group that has been created in order for us to interact a little bit in between sessions, because we're giving you a whole bunch of information in a short period of time. But we don't want to leave you like, okay, in the middle of the week, I have these questions, I want to share this information, or, I want to know what's going on, I don't quite understand. Then you have an opportunity to pop your questions in the group, share some things, and then James and I are going to be in that group and be able to moderate and answer any questions that might come up. So we want to make sure that you all have access. And if you don't have access to Facebook, for us to be able to come up with some other ways for us to continue to share throughout the week. So, introductions. We are going to introduce ourselves as though we are the greatest storytellers on the planet. So I'm going to give each of you the stage for 40 seconds. You're going to talk without stopping. It doesn't matter what you say. You can say, hi, my name is blah, 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 blah. Even if you say blah, blah, blah for the 40 seconds, you have to continue speaking. You can talk about what you're excited about in this class, what you're excited about what happened today or yesterday, or what you're excited about that's going to happen in the future. But definitely hit on your name, where you're from, and what you're hoping to get out of this class. So those are 3 things that we definitely want to hear about. And then just talk for the next 40 seconds. So this is also an exercise that's going to wake up our brains a little bit and get the right and left hemispheres talking to each other, so we can kick into that creative stratosphere that like we're going to be like in the zone to receive information and to process it at the same time. So some other examples on this is like what do you know about digital storytelling, why you want to take this class, what you hope to learn, whatever comes to mind. The only rule is you can't stop talking. Right? So if you're like gonna pause, pick a word, like right now, pick the word. What is the word I'm gonna say when I don't know what to say? It can't be or that we have to erase that from our vocabulary. Unless it's me or James. We're the only ones allowed to say All right, so I'm gonna stop my screen share. And then James, I don't know, do you wanna pick the first person? Can you see all the names?
Sure. I don't mind.
Or does someone or do we want to pick a volunteer?
Yeah, let's let them take some ownership here and see if anybody's willing to kick it off, And then on your screen share, you had like there was like little bullet points. Is there any way that they can use that as like like something to go off of? Like we can hear them and see them.
For a reference.
Yeah, just for a reference, so that at least they've got a little bit of an aid
sure,
to help them just fire off some stuff for 40 seconds.
Yeah, I will go back to that slide and then just keep it up there. And then while you
Okay.
guys are talking, you can see that if you want to reference that. But just remember, name, where you're from, what you hope to get out of the class. Okay?
Okay. All right.
For
Does
maybe
anybody want to go first?
I can go first.
There we
Skylar.
go. We got
Yep.
it. Volunteer Skylar. Out.
I'm gonna go ahead and put the slide back up. So if you want to see
Okay,
it, and
thank
then
you.
if you can, Skylar, turn your camera on. If not, it's
It's okay
fine.
if I don't.
Then we won't see you.
Tomorrow I will. Okay, not tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Hi everyone. My name. Oh, let
Hold
me
on.
start.
Hold on one
Let
sec.
me-
Ready?
Okay.
Because I'm timing. I'll tell you when it's
Okay.
done. Set, go.
Hello everyone. My name is Skyla. I'm next First Yakima Navajo, and I live in Camden, Idaho. And oh darn it.
Oh,
Okay. Darn it. Okay. I hope to learn in this class just a lot about the culture and a lot about a whole bunch of things and get friendships and and
10 seconds. You got 10 seconds.
okay, and I'm a very shy person. I'm failing at this already.
2, 1.
Yeah.
Awesome. You did not fail. You
You
did
didn't fail. You
awesome.
passed. You passed. You passed.
That was
Flying colors.
fantastic.
You did awesome. Thank you.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Skylar. We appreciate that
Thank
intro.
you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But that was super brave to go first also. Like, pat on the back for that. Any other
Yeah,
volunteers?
thank you.
I volunteer.
There we go. We got number 2 in the house.
Is that Rashawn?
I'm Curtis. I'm his brother. We're just sharing the
Curtis.
same.
Okay, I'm gonna put your name
Okay,
down, Curtis.
cool. Just right. You got the timer, Roxanne?
I'm getting there. All right, ready? Sorry about the dogs. I'm gonna mute myself. Set and go.
Hey, my name is Curtis Ellenwood. I am next First and African American. I am from Lapwai actually, but I currently live in Pocatello. Oh no. I currently live in Pocatello. What I hope to get out of this is just learn something new, kind of, and learn something something I haven't learned yet, and probably just get some more information about things I don't know.
10 seconds. 9,
Oh no.
Keep
Okay.
it going, man. Keep it going.
5.
I'm Curtis. Oh no. Why am I repeating myself? Oh, I already failed. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're good.
So good.
Good. Beep, beep, beep.
What's up, Curtis? Curtis?
Awesome.
Sorry.
Hey, man,
Good
that
stuff.
worked,
That was
though, right?
great.
You're still talking. Even though you're saying your name over and over again, the thing is when we keep repeating the same thing over and over again, our brains start to look for things to say. But anyway, we won't get too far into the science behind my
That's what I'm
mouth.
gonna do. It's my turn. I'm James.
Roxanne. All right, so who's next?
Anybody? Do we have any volunteers?
Oh, I guess I can go next. Oh.
There we go. Rashawn's up. That's what's up.
All
There
right.
we go.
Ready?
Brave souls today. I love it.
Set. I'm gonna start you and go.
Okay, I'm Rashawn Ellenwood, and I'm Nez person, African American, and I from Lapwai, but currently I live in Pocatello as well. And from this class, I'd like to learn just new things and have a new skill. And
20 seconds.
oh man, uh, uh, yeah, just to learn a new skill and get good at it. I don't know.
5, 4,
And
3,
yeah,
2,
that's pretty much it.
1. Awesome.
Fuego.
It's a lot harder than it looks, huh?
Yeah.
You guys are doing awesome, though. Sweet. Who's next?
It's been a beautiful start.
Yes.
You got some brave souls in this group. Usually, even with the adults, it's not that open right off the bat. So we thank you guys very much for giving us your energy, helping us along in this class just as much as you. We're here to have fun with you.
Yes.
All right, we got a few left. Do we have any more lucky volunteers, or you want me to call on you? I'll call.
I volunteer Abby.
Hey,
She's shaking her
another
head.
volunteer. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so hi, I'm Abby.
Wait, I gotta start you. Ready, set, go.
Okay, so I'm Abby, Janelle's daughter, and she picked me. I'm from Lapwai. I'm a freshman, and I'm pretty sure I went to school with Roxanne like a couple years ago. Wait, how long was that? Never mind. Okay, anyways, my mom signed me up for this, and I want to learn what to do with I don't know, art. I hope to learn. Okay, sorry, my mind went blank.
4, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Ooh, yay!
All good. Our minds go blank sometimes. It's all good. You did great. Good job, Abby.
That's awesome.
And good job, Janelle, for bringing Abby into the fold. Yeah.
Abby's a really good artist. She doesn't want to admit it. She usually she's getting embarrassed because her classmates ask her to draw things for them in art class.
Okay.
She gets done so quick. So, and then I think she also does a lot of origami.
Well, that's creative then. That's what I'm talking about.
She likes watching engineering, how to build things.
Well,
Okay, I gotta go refill my water bottle. Sorry.
She's like, you're talking about me, I'm out. That's awesome. I love origami too. I'm trying to learn. Let's see. Who do we have left?
we got George and Devarius.
Chubbas.
Yeah. Looks like we got a volunteer.
And Davy Joe. Right. Who is it? Who's going for it?
I'll go.
Sweet. All right, hold on. Let me get my timer set up. Ready?
Am I pronouncing your name right, bro? Is it Devarius?
It's Devarius.
Devarius. Okay, I just want to make sure I say it right. My bad on that.
All right, Devarius, whenever you're ready, go ahead and start.
My name is Devarius. I'm Nez and I live in Lapwai, and I always want to learn something new. And I'm in 8th grade, and I fractured my collarbone in a football game, and I just want to learn something new. How much time do I have left?
17. 15.
Oh, I don't know what to say. And Jasmine's my mom, and she signed me up for this, and I'm tired. That's it.
Perfect. Right at the timer.
You did good, man. You did good. Great job signing them up, Jasmine. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. And I think Davy Joe's the last one. George, are you going to participate, or are you just observing?
I'm just observing right now, but I'm in the drive-through, so.
Oh man, that'd be a perfect time to go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's for your 40 seconds, we're gonna hear what you ordered.
All right. Yeah.
Awesome. So Janelle, are you going to get Davy Joe to do her introduction?
I gotta unmute myself here. All right, Davy Joe, right here. Come sit up here so I can see you.
Nah. All right. Ready, set, go.
You gotta talk.
Well, my name is Baby Joe. Live in my house.
What do you like to do?
Horse ride.
What kind of horse riding?
Barrel race riding. Trail riding. What else?
What horse do you like to ride?
Sechnem, Miochet, Opel.
Ooh, time. Nice.
Iron. All my
She-
family are horse riders too. Whether it's
Yeah, she-
Indian relay or suicide race, yeah, we're really deep into horse racing as well. So that's awesome.
Mhm.
Thank
She
you for sharing that with us.
She wants to be a barrel racer.
Just right.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing your stories. I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share really quick. Just to just point out how, like, even though like 40 seconds doesn't seem like that long, but when we have to communicate a thought or an idea, what happens in our brains? All of a sudden we're like, I totally knew what I was gonna say, and then she was like, go, and then I went whoop, everything went away. So that's kind of like one of the things about creating story, about being a creator, is we see the end product. Like James's videos or his things that he creates, his songs, they don't just like happen. There's like a whole process. If we were to put him on stage and be like, new song, you've never done it before, and go, he'd be like, I mean, he might just go for it because he's pretty awesome like that. But most of us are going to be like, you are my son, like, what do I do? I don't know what to say. I don't know how to like respond. And our minds go
Probably
blank.
bust out in a stick game song.
Yeah, right? But like what we just asked you to do wasn't an easy task. So for some of you, you were able to keep talking, in that last 10 seconds you're like, I don't really know what to say, and like just accepting that that's normal. Like people like me, I'm super shy. I always tell people, like, I like, put me in a networking situation and I'm like in the corner not talking, but put me in front of people to teach and you can't shut me up. But the idea behind being able to tell a story is there are certain stories that we want to have in our lives that are just packaged nicely. One of them is to be able to talk about who we are, where we're from. And a lot of that is rooted in our values and our vision for our lives and for ourselves. And so that's where I love that picture. Is that, and that's part of the foundation of what we're going to be talking about. So I just wanted to throw that out there just to give you guys like high fives for being brave, because you've never met James or myself before, and you might not know some of the folks in this group. And that was really that was awesome that you're able to do that, and with strangers and maybe with friends. And I just wanted to say, yay.
Yeah, you guys all did awesome. It was wild. We've got, adults that come through all the time, they're really confident, and a lot of them come through and master bead workers, master, basket weavers, painters, sculptors, like, art from all over. And a lot of us have trouble, like when we're put on a spot, we got trouble. Like one of the biggest fears isn't spiders, it's not snakes, it's speaking in front of people, so you guys were really courageous with that. I know it was only 40 seconds. It seemed like a lifetime, but that's the beginning blocks of you exercising your voice, telling the people who you are and what you're about, so let's tap into some ways to do it a little bit more creatively too.
Yes, and when we get to the values part, you're going to be able to have some very strong things to talk about. For me, when I talk about the things that I do in my life, all of it revolves back to what my mission statement is, my life and my purpose. And that is stemmed and it's rooted from my values. So once we can identify that, that's like the seeds. Those are the seeds in our garden of creativity or our direction in life. And once we know what our seeds are and we plant them, we know how to foster and germinate them. So with that said, I'm trying to use all my like little storytelling tricks to keep you guys excited. So what is digital storytelling? I'm going to, hold on, do this. Digital storytelling, according to the online dictionary that is edited by people, digital storytelling is a short form of digital media. It's a production that allows everybody or everyday people to share aspects of their stories. The media used may include digital equivalent of film techniques, still images, audio only, or any other form of non-physical media that is shared electronically or digitally. So individuals can use this form of storytelling to present ideas, to take a stance on an issue in the world, or just to talk about what they're doing in their day. And a lot of, like, we have these amazing platforms available to us right now that allow us to tell our stories. We can talk about the coffee I drank this morning and people are excited about hearing, or we can like take a cool picture of, you know, us riding a horse and that tells a story. So, you know, what are the different ways that you can utilize storytelling to create meaning or have more of a purpose behind what you're doing with your digital storytelling? James, there's a lot more to add, but I just wanted to give James an opportunity to chime in on his ideas about digital storytelling.
So I mentioned a little bit at the beginning that I'm a motivational speaker. That's how I really started. You know, I've been doing music since back in 2002. What I didn't mention in my intro is just last year I won a Native American Music Award for Best Hip Hop Video. I had someone else shoot the video, obviously, because I'm in it and whatnot. But I'm a producer at heart. Like I put a lot of detail into the songs that I make, into the lyrics that I write. And I've got this mind that, like, when I hear a song or I'm making a song, like, I try to picture, like, man, what would this music video look like? Like, I really love movies. I love, you know, film. I love music videos. I love music, period. So I always, like, enjoy other people, especially, like, you know, like Earth Gang right now. They're putting out some crazy videos, awesome music and everything. But it's like, what I really pay attention to is the attention to detail in their music videos, because I don't know why it reaches out to me, you know. So when I go into any type of project, even me sharing my story, I'll come out and share my story. Jasmine brought me right there to Lapwai a couple years back, and I got to share with her, and I have a PowerPoint presentation. So that was one form for me to share about my accident that happened to me. You know, I'm sharing a piece of my story that's very vulnerable. A lot of us know people. We know our family members or friends or someone in our community that's been affected by alcoholism and drug addiction. And that's where it led me. You know, it's had a lot of different consequences in my life. And I thought, like, okay, I've got a powerful story. I want to tell it, but what are ways I can do it, you know, with not just my voice? So my first implementation of a digital story was that PowerPoint presentation where I showed pictures of my accident and I gave context to the real realities behind what happened to me in my life and what has happened to a lot of us in our families. A lot of us have been affected by that. If not by our family or friends, at least someone in our community. We all know, you know, trauma that happens. So I wanted to be able to deliver a story in that way. And then when it came to the music, it was working hand in hand with that videographer, telling that person my vision. Like, you know, I used to sell drugs on this one block of my street. I would love to reclaim that block in a good way, telling our people to break these chains of addiction. You know, that's where that song came from. And it was just, you know, it was a beautiful experience to see the world, you know, accept that message, because we didn't have no cuss words. We weren't talking about, you know, a lot of the cool stuff that people be talking about in rap these days. We were giving real messages about our lives, you know, and for the world, like, without any ad money or anything like that spent. Like, it's got like over 21,000 views right now in the last couple of years that it's been up. So The world's really grasped on to stories. So if we figure out how to tell story in a powerful way, not only audio, but visual, like people grasp onto these things. We're in a time right now, it's COVID, man. There's so much, the internet and everything is popping right now with content, with stories, with visuals, with audio, with powerful stories being told. So this is a perfect time to come in and teach you guys some skills on not only how to tell your story, but how to do it in a cohesive manner so it really makes sense, and take a little bit of that kind of like you're running around in circles out of the ballpark. We want to teach you guys ways to kind of set your story up, set the work up to where you'll be able to do it in a timely manner as well. So yeah, it's, you know, both Roxanne and I love telling stories in everything that we do, whether it's video, photography, music, food, you know, art. Like these are all different ways to tell stories, and we want to tap into what's your story? How do you want to tell it? Because there's so many different ways to do it. And yeah, that's what I got about that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So one of the tasks that I'm going to request of you all is in the Facebook group, once you get connected in that space, to share some of your favorite digital stories, whether it's a song, whether it's a TikTok video. Please just try to keep them like PG-13 because there's a lot of like crazy TikToks out there, or just like a short form video of storytelling, or maybe it's something that you've created yourself and you want to share in the group, just to give some different examples of storytelling. And with that said, I'm going to ask James to share a story that he created. It's a video. And so, James, if you have that queued up and ready to share.
Okay, I'm gonna has anybody even seen the music video that I made called "Break These Chains" that won the 2019 Native American Music Awards over in New York? Anybody? Anybody? No? You? No. Okay, so I'm gonna show that. I was gonna show a recent story that I told, but this one right here, I don't have it queued up, but I'm getting into the folder right now. Here's the thing with this video. You know, we shot this whole thing. So here, I'm going to give you like a little bit of context into, you know, like our thought process going into this. It's like we had this song, we went out and we made it. And it was really empowering. There's 3 of us that are Colville tribal members, myself, Tony Louie, and Big D. We made our songs, we talked about our lives and what happened, and then we got together and we communicated with each other, and we were like, okay, this song's awesome, definitely needs a music video. What do we want to do? How do we want to portray visually what Break These Chains means? Like, what are lyrics? How do we put that on film, not just on paper, you know? So we started really communicating, going, okay, what are some ways that our people back home, you know, break chains of trauma, abuse, addiction, alcoholism, just whatever, like whatever happens to our people or our community? What are ways that we do? And I want to challenge you. You're going to view this and you're going to see ways in which we do on the Colville res, but what are ways you guys break these chains? So I went to some of our high school players that play basketball, and we had a couple clips of them, you know, just hooping it up with each other. We had the powwow. We had our river, Colville res. It's surrounded by that the Columbia River. So we wanted to really highlight the beauty of our reservation. So many of our people don't appreciate our land that we come from. There's so many they feel trapped and whatnot. And I recently brought an artist from North Dakota back home just to visit, and I showed him some lakes and rivers and stuff, and seeing our land through their eyes, him and his daughter, through their eyes, they were just in wonder and in awe, and it helped me appreciate in that moment the beauty of where I come from. And when we show this music video, that's the first thing that people say is like, dang, man, that country is beautiful, you know? So we can tell powerful stories and show the beauty in our community, even if sometimes we don't think that we see it or other people see it. So one thing I want to apologize for is with these streams, and like we're doing now, the audio is going to come through clear, but the video, it comes through choppy because it's coming through like this. These are big files that are coming through and trying to get sent to you guys. So it chops up a little bit because of the speed that which you guys are uploading and downloading at the same time. So it's just a thing that happens through Zoom, Facebook Live, and all that kind of stuff, that any type of videos are shown, they're going to be a little bit choppy, but you'll still get the full grasp of what the video looks like. Every scene will be there. The audio will be there, but it'll just be a little bit choppy. So I want to apologize for that. But it's something that we've done a whole lot of webinars. I've done a whole lot of, performing arts, talking circles, as well as performances. And it's something that none of us can troubleshoot just because it's on Zoom. It's on the third party programs that we're using to share this information. So we just kind of got to get past that. But now I'm going to share my screen and show you guys the Break These Chains music video that won 2019 Native American Music Awards in Niagara Falls, New York. All of us traveled there to the award show, went up on stage and got to accept our award in front of hundreds of other performing artists and actors and actresses. It was just an amazing moment just to be like, I'm just a res boy from the Colville Res, like up here with like Wes Studi and Adam Beach and all these people. And it was just a really cool experience to be able to tell a story on film and with music and it be recognized, So it was a beautiful process. So let me share my screen here. I'm going to share my sound with it. Let's go here.
Grandchildren did artwork on the other side. Go look at it.
Pave the road, blaze a trail when the reach is on. Be the change, set the tone. One day you might leave and never make it home. So live now, I'm on it. I'll never back down when I'm in the moment. Take the reins and bite down. It's a mind state and a lifestyle. My growth depends on my choosing. I make mistakes, but I'm human. You can slow me down, but never hold me down. I'll be 6 on the ground when you stop my movement. Now you know I gotta make it. I feel so close I can almost taste it. Last chance I'ma take it. I'm a simple man, but I ain't never been basic. Praying to God I don't fall. I never move on with my life on pause. Spare my heart so we can bleed for y'all. Break the chains and bust down the walls. You can break me down, but never make me fold. Elevate me when I'm in my mode. I'm still here in a world so cold. I'm just playing the cards that I hold.
Up, another day gone. Dance to the beat to the same old song. Looking at your life, wonder where you went wrong. You living in the shadow of your dreams too long. And if you fall 22 times, you gotta bounce back. 23 MJ in his prime, flying high in the sky, jumping from the free throw line. Then you look 22 dead in the eyes, and you say nice try. Better luck next time, but you can't steal my shine. Like Muhammad Ali in his time, floating like a butterfly, singing like a bee. You can't stop me from the dreams I see or the creed I bleed. Y'all wonder why the haters wanna be like me. Being real has a price, ain't cheap. Living like a lion, you can't trust see sheep. Put it on the line, it's your life at stake. Life's too short, you got dreams to chase. Man, the thing about the bottom is it's filled with snakes. You wanna rise to the top, you gotta elevate. You need a mind that you can't break, a soul that you can't shake, a heart that you can't take, a love that you can't fake. So you think you're gonna change my fate? Hell nah, I'ma take the gate to greatness.
like face to face. Go so hard, need an ankle brace. Win so much, feel a trophy case. Can't turn back, I'ma win the race. I'ma reach new heights and elevate. Never half step and give a cut rate. Win the whole game, no stalemate. All boxed in, that's checkmate. I'ma never give in or escape. Along the way, you gon' make mistakes. This here life ain't a piece of cake. I'm hungry, I'ma cut weight. I'ma do my thing and I'ma let them hate. Never let another man bring you down. This right here, that new sound. 2 tomahawks on my hunt ground. Heavy as a head that wears the crown. I'ma live now, can't back down. Don't like my style, then move around. Swipe to the left and move down. While I step up, I can't lose now.
Okay, so one question, guys. We'll go like this. If it was all right, we'll just go sideways like a backwards stick game pointing. If it was good, we'll go like that. If it was bad, let's go like that. So you guys got your videos on. Let's see it. Give me your impression on what it was. All right. Okay, we're out here. Okay.
Well, with the other thing that
See
we
the
can
various.
do is James will post that in the link in the link in the group so that y'all can see it like without the lag.
Yeah.
Even better.
And another thing as well, you guys, on that bottom there's that little chat bubble. If you click that, a new window will pop up. In that window, I've also added the link to the Facebook group. So if you got a Facebook, click that link right there. You'll be able to tap into that private page. And then that way, when we communicate, the rest of the world won't see it. You know, it's just us communicating about our projects coming up for the next few weeks so that we can communicate with you guys. And next, I'll upload that link to that video so you guys can watch that without all that lag if you want to later. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Also, I just want to welcome Sage. She is currently on as Leslie Moses, but she's here. Hi, Sage.
Hi.
Awesome. Well, unmute myself. And I'm like getting crazy with the mute buttons. So let me go ahead and go back to this slide here. And so what is digital storytelling? We're going to use the foundations that are used in writing to help you to create some more step-by-step approaches to creating your digital stories. So when somebody's writing a story, they start out by developing the setting. They want you, the reader or the viewer, to get a sense for the place, for where is the story taking place. And then they start to build characters. So like James's video is a great example where the place, we know that the place is on our reservation somewhere, or it actually could be on a lot of different reservations. So that connects in that way. And then the characters, you see there's like those 4 main characters that are singing and sharing their story. And then the plot, that could be a lot of different things depending on the type of story you're telling, but the plot is the series of events that reveal what is happening to the characters and why it's happening. And that could be translated to maybe the hook in the song, or a repeating theme, which is the message that is being delivered, So what is the plot? What is the characters are overcoming or working on? The theme is the message that you're trying to relay in the story. And like, does anyone not know, like maybe just like raise your hand with your little emoji, or clap your hands, or just raise your hands if your video's on. Did you guys, I totally lost my train of thought by trying to figure out how to say emoji. Did anyone not know the theme of that song? Did you guys not get the hook? Like who understood what that song with, if you hadn't heard James's explanation, like would you understand what that theme was all about? The theme of the song. Was there an underlying message? Yeah, did we get it? Like, break these chains. I mean, and that could be translated into so many different things. Me personally, I never really struggled with addiction, but codependency and different things. So breaking these chains could be just translate to just about anything. So even though in this song it specifically was relating to that addiction and overcoming certain those types of things, you know, with this kind of storytelling, we want to be able to allow it to be interpreted in other ways as well. So so I also want to point out that depends on the message. Like MMIW, that message, there's no like interpreting that message in a different way. Like there's certain messages that they just need to be very clear. But these types of healing messages for ourselves or for community don't necessarily have to stay so pinpointed that it can't relate to someone else. So that I think that song is really powerful in that way. And so you also want to develop a point of view in your storytelling. Like, who's telling the story? You're telling it in first person, I went to the store, or are you telling it in third person, he went to the store? Or Jane, like Roxanne, decided to go to the store.
Can I come up with an own character? Like Romulus went to the store.
Yes,
like
Romulus.
I like that name.
Awesome. So I wanted to share also with you guys, you know, a digital image that I took, and I apologize, the dogs are going crazy, that tells for me, and this is an image that I took in a project that James and I are working on. And this is one of the performing artists that we interviewed, and he was leasing a theater space and had all these big plans for it before COVID happened. So like, I was just messing around behind while James was doing the interview, and like I just saw this told a story for, you know, even if you were to look at it and like at first glance it's like, oh, cool highlights or rim lights on that image, you know, are those seats in the back? Why isn't there anyone in the seats? So it starts to create these questions, these it draws you in a certain way, like what is going on in this image? Like it makes you question what's happening, or at least that's what it does for me every time I see it. But that's the beautiful thing about art. It's subjective. It's like, what do you feel from this? What does it bring up in you? And whether the artist is thinking one way, you can interpret it and allow it to speak to you in whatever way it needs to in order to be powerful for you in your life. But that's just one, that's like an example of a still image that could be a way to tell a story. And I'm going to go back.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Can I add something? Because that was awesome. And I didn't expect that. Was you got to see two totally different styles and processes in the way that this digital storytelling went. So you got to see this big production, all of this, you know, with mine, that was, you know, it was a project that we worked on for a year. So we had time to develop something like that. And then you got to see Roxanne just put a picture up and talk about it. So please, like, don't let this class overwhelm you. There's, you know, just take some time and some effort into crafting that story. Roxanne just did so in a couple minutes, you know, based off of a picture that she took of a moment that was meaningful to her, or just a story that she wanted to tell. So what I thought was awesome is you got to see both flip sides of how we tell our stories. So don't feel like you need all of this high tech stuff to be able to tell a powerful story, because you didn't, and Roxanne didn't. She just did. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Are you saying I'm not techie?
Oh, you're the techiest.
I'm the techiest. I'm gonna get a shirt. I'm the techiest. Okay. So let's go back to the slides. So that's the basis for our storytelling. Like, we want to develop a platform. So when we first start telling stories, it feels clunky. It doesn't flow. But after you've done a few, it suddenly starts to feel like, ooh, you're not even thinking about these things. It's just happening naturally. But in the beginning, we have to take the time to develop those skills and to be able to identify what each different element is and to be able to pull it out in the story. Like, I used to be so annoyed with my English teachers because they were like, you need to know the different structures of a sentence. And I didn't understand at the time that by developing those communication skills in writing, that was going to lead to my ability to communicate verbally in a much more powerful way. So these steps, this isn't something that every single time you come up with a story idea, you're going to go, what is the setting? What is the characteristics? Or how do I develop my characters? That's just going to start to flow really naturally, and you're not really going to think about it. But in the beginning, we need to think about it so we understand and can make sure we have all those elements as part of our stories. So you may notice that I keep popping my hands up and in the Zoom. So a lot of times we get what's called Zoom fatigue or TV fatigue, and a part of that, an element of that, is because we don't see people's hands. And studies have shown, they did a study on TikTok videos, that when people show their hands, those videos do a lot better than if it's just the head or just the shoulders. Why? Because our brains give 12.5 times more weight to hand gestures. So more than face, more than eyes, more than anything, it's hands. So if I were here and I was like, I'm going to tell you a really, really big story about a really, really big piece of pie, right? Like, big, it's really big. Like, our minds are going, why is she doing that with that's small. That's not big. Does she really think that's big? Our minds are going a little bit like wonky. So, but if I was like, I'm going to tell you a really big story about a really big piece of pie, then but if I was like, I'm going to tell you a story about a really big piece of pie, it's a big story about a big piece of pie. We can feel this. We can feel this, but this is a little, it's uneasy because we're all thinking like, what is she doing with her hands? What's going, because that's like a primal instinct that we have going into situations. We want, when we're going into hey, when we wave at someone, I'm a safe person. That's what that gesture's saying to other people. And this is, I'm showing my hands. So I don't have nothing up the sleeve, right? So it's that whole idea of being able to see the hands. So keep that in mind when we're telling our stories. That when we take speech classes, they tell us arms by our sides and we become very robotic. But having the ability to express, to emote with our hands is also very powerful in communicating an idea and a thought. And just by saying it's really, really big, we can see that. We can maybe use this hand because the light's better. We can see this isn't big, but this, I mean, even my eyes are big. So my whole body is speaking that big, grand idea. So speak with your words and explain concepts with your hands, right? It's pretty straightforward. I could have said that all in that one little sentence, but I like to talk sometimes. As humans, we are contagious. Like, sometimes you see people speaking and you just start to smile. You can't help but to be like, oh my God, why am I smiling? This is so weird. Like, I can't figure out why I'm smiling while I'm watching this person on this video. And a lot of times it's because we're mirroring their gestures. But we understanding that we are contagious when we're communicating. So if, I apologize, my light is getting really bad in here, but if our body language is like, oh, this is so dumb. I don't even know why I signed up. My auntie made me come to this class and it's so insane. Like, I don't even know why I'm here. Like, that becomes contagious. Like, if we want people to stand behind us, or we want to have people trust us, when we have that attitude, or our body language will tell so much about it, about our body signals. Our body language is way more powerful than our words. So
Definitely. And I feel as natives too, we really connect with feelings and emotion and energy so much because we're just naturally tapped into Mother Earth, you know. So it really is like man, I just lost my train of thought now too, but that emotional reaction, like it really is catching emotions, being contagious, all of those things is because we're picking up on those vibes, you know. So I can't speak for Roxanne, I can speak for myself. I've really caught the really good vibes from you guys in this group so far already. You guys are interacting, you're giving the thumbs up, the claps, the intros were great. So it really set the tone for all of us to kind of feel like this is a welcome open space. So I appreciate that. And that's how, you know, a real life example of how I caught some emotions in this group just today. So, yeah.
But I mean, that's really important to, when we're doing videos, if we're creating even our TikTok videos, or if we're doing a longer form like YouTube video or some sort, we are performing. We're not just like, there's some that's it's a style. It's just like the talking head, and they're just saying blah 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 blah, and all you see is their head. But if you really want to infect people with your message, make it like a full body effect. Like that. I want to, like, you how many times, like, there's a story about this woman did an experiment, and she went and she stood and she just started staring up at the sky. She just was at this festival and just started staring up at the sky and just stood there. And then pretty soon there was like 20 people around her staring up at the sky. Like, and then she was like, and then I started hearing people, is there a UFO? Like, is it a plane? What are there birds? Like, everyone starts to question, but that's how powerful our body language is. And that's like that our ability to infect others with our energy. And it's so like, with the digital world, we often lose touch with those body cues, the body language. And so it's really important that we start to allow ourselves to build that connection when we're communicating, and your messages are going to come across so much more powerful. Do you have anything else to add to that, James?
No, that was really good. I just added my spot about, you know, the catching of the emotions and how they're very, you know, they're very contagious, and you can see it in the videos as well, or you can hear it in the audio. Especially for me as a musician, I can tell when someone's passionate about their body of work they're creating. They could be spitting a verse or singing a hook or something like that, and I'll be able to tell, like, and especially with artists I'm working with in the booth, which I work with youth artists as well. So it's like, yo, I'll say, hey, let's retake that. You know, you did a great job on that verse. You hit all the words right, the rhythm's right, but I didn't feel it. You know, I need you to help me feel this so I believe what you're talking about, you know? So there's care that's taken into telling a powerful story. That delivery matters, you know? So, and letting other people tap into that little vulnerable place of you saying, hey, here's a little bit of my emotion, or here's a little bit of my story. A lot of the times in our conversations like this, we can be a little bit shy. So creating a medium, creating a picture, creating an artwork, creating a video, creating a song, creating a beat. These are all safe ways for us to express ourselves, and doing it in a way that isn't so, intrusive into, our feelings in that moment. That's because some of us can be really shy when it comes to that. So yeah, these are awesome ways to be able to tell story and explain your emotions and tell what you're really feeling without really taking that leap of being vulnerable in a situation and telling everybody your whole story. Like in that Break These Chains, I talked about a lot of stuff, and that was a way for me early on to explain where I was in my life. And it was a really bad spot. It was the first time ever in life, 3 months after my accident, that I wanted to commit suicide, you guys. I didn't know how I was going to live. It was my right hand. I was a basketball player. I didn't know how to even eat soup, so that song wasn't a message to my community and to our youth at first. It was a message to myself to wake up another day, and that, like, there's still life to be led. There's still power in this world to grasp onto and to craft a life out of, so that was a way for me to safely talk about what was troubling me without really putting myself out there. So, this is another beautiful way to do so. So you can tell your story without going all the way in a full conversation with someone, because that can be really scary sometimes.
Yeah. So I just have this whole.
So the title of
this whole video is amazing, and I'm going to also share this in the Facebook group. But I just wanted to show the ending part.
talk today is the power and potential of digital storytelling, and I realize that I haven't mentioned that yet, and it's on purpose. Because this, so far in the last few minutes, I've walked you through the process that leads up to creating a digital story. So what happens when we add moving images to still images? What happens when we add what happens when we add music to voice? When we put it all together, what do we see differently? What do we hear differently? What do we experience differently? So I'm going to end by sharing with you the digital story that I created for my Where I'm From piece. And as you're watching, I would like to invite you to consider what changes. What are you noticing that's different? How are you feeling things differently? What might you be understanding differently? What might you be seeing differently or hearing differently as you engage with this? And to just think about the potential power that a simple phrase like Where I'm From has to not only forge better relationships between educators and students, but also to allow us all as individuals, as humans, to look deeper inside ourselves, to understand our identities better, and to think more critically about what from might mean to us. So with that, I'll leave you with this piece. I am from sidewalks and taxicabs, from the city, the one that never sleeps, as if it's the only one, with capitalized letters standing tall, towering over the others like the crest of the majestic skyline. I'm from the din of sirens, car horns and freight trucks barreling down 10th Avenue as I drift off to sleep amidst the rhythmic city sounds. I'm from the sycamore tree, seeing blue sky, not skyscrapers every morning, from a pride, a rush, a love that has the power to bring me to tears, yet also render me defeated and disillusioned. I am from rugula cookies, matzo ball soup, candy canes and Christmas trees, from everything happens for a reason, and when in doubt, don't. I'm from the aftermath of Ellis Island, a last name shortened to sound more American and less Russian. I am from car rides, Mel Brooks, doo-wop and sunflower seeds, from my father's stories, my mother's sage advice, my sister's exuberance. From film, 16mm, dark rooms, crispy photographs preserved behind thick plastic and glass, providing me with nothing more than mottled memories of grandfathers I never knew. I am from the vicious cycle of thinking I have it all figured out and questioning everything and knowing nothing. I am from spinning axes and striving to be better informed perspectives, from tipping over the melting pot, its contents piping hot with anger, frustration, and guilt. I now always make air quotes hug the word diversity, embracing and comforting it as it mourns its loss of identity and false sense of self. I'm from words and phrases like pedagogy, intersectionality, and socio-cultural contexts, which come spewing from my mouth on a daily basis while they get tangled between the teeth and tongues of others. From if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life, and only recently understanding the underlying privilege of that creed. I'm from a neighborhood where the projects rest against the million-dollar prospects, where wealth and poverty run through the tree-lined streets like children at the end of the school day. What some consider symbiotic, I now recognize as colorblind. But where I'm from doesn't always feel like where I'm from should feel. And that's hard. It's complicated. I pull the bandana down from my eyes and wait for my pupils to adjust. I'm from blurry lines. And while I will not claim to reclaim borderlands, I will say I negotiate boundaries. You see, I'm working to strengthen this hybridized identity of mine, to make sense of my own contradictions and confusions, but also to celebrate my intersections and how they've led me to what I'm passionate about today. And for that, I will embrace them, inform them, learn from them constantly.
That was awesome.
So that's been around for a while, the Where I'm From project. And I wanted to share that with you as we're getting into the values part of class, and also as a great example of digital storytelling. She's actually a school teacher, and she has created this whole process of storytelling. And if you're at a loss for what could I do, like what kind of a story could I tell, the I Am From story is a powerful one. And not only that, but it's a really cool way. Who are you? And that's kind of why I wanted us to introduce ourselves in the way that we did at the beginning of class. It isn't like, I'm not my name, I'm not my tribe, I am of my tribe, and I am a part of it, but it is not who I am 100%. So like, what is it? Like, what are you? I am the alkaline lake that heals our soul. You know, what are you? I'm the joy that you feel as you see the sunrise over the mountains and you hear the horses neighing in the fields and eating their hay, and that smell, you know. So what is your story? Like, what are those words that you can use to describe where you're from? And you can just describe your place. I love that. It's like so like gripping the way that she tells her story. And you can see the video quality. It is not like she did. I would say she probably did that all on her phone, except it was so out of focus most of the time that she probably used a nice camera that she had control of the focus, more control of the focus. But not like it was super simple shooting, stuff that you can do with your smartphones with
She was shooting right out of the back of the cab, you know.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Super, like, just, it doesn't, like, we tend to be like, oh, I'm gonna do a video production, and we get in our minds like Jurassic Park or some crazy, you know, YouTube video that someone has a whole production team to create. And we're asking you guys to create a digital story for week 3 that speaks to you, whether you're just in front of the camera talking and telling your story, or doing something similar to what Emily created, where she is talking over video that she has shot. And James and I will be available to help answer some of those questions on how do I do that. It's way more content than what we can deliver in these next 3 sessions, but knowing that the possibilities are there with, if you have an iPhone, using iMovie, you can do all that so easy. And it's a free app that comes on your phone. If you have, I don't know Samsung, I don't know if they have that availability as well. James could probably speak to that better than me. But the possibilities are endless, like with our digital storytelling. Anyway, anything else to add before we go on to values?
Well, we can go on to values. As far as like the Samsung goes, I haven't used any apps on the phone yet to be able to develop the story and cut it all up. I use Storytime as an app to kind of chop up my Instagram so that it can fit within the Instagram stories. But most of the time I just use, Adobe on my computer or something to be able to craft the stories together and stick my clips. But there's all sort, you go onto the Google Play Store and you look up, like video creator app or something like that, and there's going to be a whole selection. And my biggest advice, and always going into Google Play, is make sure there's a lot of reviews there and then read them. So there may be some app out that's got 4 stars but it's only got 5 reviews. It hasn't been vetted yet. It hasn't been tested and the bugs have been troubleshooted and everything. So some of these apps got 100,000, 1 million, 5 million users and stuff like that, and they still have a high star rating. That's the way I gauge what apps I'm going to use, despite whatever it may be for. It could be just games, it could be anything, but I want to make sure that I go in and I read those reviews so I can see before I even download anything or install anything on my phone or my computer that this thing has been vetted by other people using it and that it's user friendly. So
Yep. So as we step into the values and vision part of the class, we're going to step out of the speaking role and now begin to ask you all to help us to develop a definition that resonates with you all about values and vision. But before we go too far into that, just one final thing from the video that we shared of the where I'm from is we can't always choose the stories that we have in our lives, but we can choose how we use them to affect others. And below are just a few examples. We could use them to entertain. We can use them to inspire, to encourage, to provoke thought, or to educate on a topic. So there's so many different ways that if something joyful happens to us, how can we use that to share and inspire others? Or if something tragic happens, one of the most profound things that as James and I interviewed a whole bunch of performing artists over the last couple of months, one thing that they all said across the board was that their art, their performing arts, has been a way for them to process emotions and to just have that outlet. And I feel like that's the power that art brings to us as humans. And utilizing those tools, those ways to process things that maybe are not as desirable, but yet they can be of benefit to others. And just wanted to share that. So as we go into values and vision, what is important to us in our hearts? What do we value? And I'm going to open it up. So we're going to talk about values, but here's the questions that I want us to think about. So this photo is actually an artist, a local artist here on the Calvo Res. And this is one of his first pieces that has gone into a gallery. So it's pretty exciting. But anyway, that's that photo. And so I'm giving you some time to read these questions, like values. What are my values? What aren't my values? I thought I typed the same sentence twice. How can my values inform my identity as an artist and a Native person? And how do my values inform my art? How can my values guide me through my journey as an artist? Why are values important? And so you guys are going to get a worksheet to fill this out for yourself. There's a lot of power in writing these things out, but I want to go ahead and start to formulate a definition for our group of values. Does anyone want to take a shot at defining values? What values are? Anybody?
So my name's James. I value community. You'll see in a lot of the projects that I do, I like to involve members of our community because I have a platform where people are going to listen, people are going to watch. I always want to put out the message that our communities are resilient, because they are, and that story isn't told enough. So I tell that in a lot of my songs, a lot of my videos, and a lot of my beats. Those are the direction I go to as far as value. Is that community is valuable, and it's very important to our native peoples. So there's an example to get you guys going. Who's next? We had some awesome volunteers early on. We don't want to lose you guys, so who wants to jump in? What do you value in life? It could be anything. You could value ice cream.
Hey, Curtis. Is Curtis here? I value. Oh, good. I value family, and I value my culture too, and I value grades.
Okay, like grade A cheese or grade double A eggs or what?
Like grade as in like school, academic.
Oh, okay. You value good grade. Okay. I value grade A cheese, my guy.
So does somebody have an idea what are values though? So based on some of the things that we've heard, does anyone want to like shoot out what are values? What are they?
What is your definition of what a value is? We've introduced some examples of some, but what would you say? Oh, that's what that is. Okay. Let's hear it.
Anybody? Are you guys awake?
Davy Joe said it's something you desire and that you like to do.
Got you.
And that you love.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. That's.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Okay. I think, well, values to me, I think it's something that you cherish to yourself and to others, and yeah. Yeah, that's all.
Awesome. I'm making notes, so. Awesome. Anyone else?
Hey. Shut up. Oh. Okay, I think value means like things you care about, and yeah, just things you care about. Yeah, pretty much it.
Awesome. All right. Anyone else? So we're just going to pull all this together and create our own definition. No? So do we feel good with values are something you love and desire, that you cherish for yourself and for others, and things that you care about? Do you guys feel it? Like, give me your hand up emoji or a thumbs up if you think that's a good definition for our values. Awesome. Yay. Thank you. Yep. Sweet. All right. So that's going to go in our group for our definition of values. You guys were really fast. I was expecting y'all to take a lot longer. I have really terrible handwriting, so I will be typing it out. So we had some really good examples in the beginning of what values are. James said community. I heard family, culture, grades. So what if you're not in school anymore and you're not getting grades? What could that be instead of grades? Who said grades? I couldn't see you.
Me.
Yeah. So what happens when you're not in school anymore?
Well, I still
Well,
value family and culture. And
no, just because grades is really good, but it like outside of school, like I don't get grades anymore. I get ratings, like my stars, but I don't get grades anymore. But I value something else that would translate to grades.
Oh, how about accomplishments?
Yeah, like doing a good job, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a value. Like I value doing good work or like something to that. Thank you. Perfect. Know that I put you on the spot because I'm trying to get you guys' brains engaged again because it's dinner time. And I need some brain twisters too. So let's do this. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, and I want y'all to get up and move. If you're not moving already, if you're driving, don't you stop. Don't stand up in your car. But if you have the ability to stand up, and even if you're seated and you can stretch one side and the other, and then James is going to play a song, and when the song is over, our break is over. Woo!
So I'm just going to play like this. I got this 10-minute timer that I use when I'm streaming for different things, and I'll cut it down to 5 minutes, and you'll just get to hear some beats that my nephew Noah makes. He's 19 years old. He's going to audio engineering school, and these are ways that he wants to tell story is through instrumentation and creating powerful beats, and then having artists come on and be able to put lyrics on. So these will be just some nice instrumentals, some nice fresh ones from my nephew that's Phenom, beat producer. So yeah, I'll share the screen. We got 5 minutes. Let's move around a little.
So there we go. That one 5 minutes. I forgot to set my timer. No. Do my Oops. Awesome. Thank you for that, James.
No problem. Thank Noah for that. He's a
Thank you,
beast on
Noah.
those beats. So if you guys are artists, anything like that, I'm going to put my IG and my Facebook login. If you guys got IG, Facebook, whatever, get at me. We'll throw some beats your way so you can start, exercising your craft, whether you want to sing, maybe you want to do spoken word or poetry, whether you want to rap, whatever. We love working with our youth. We love inspiring young artists, and that's kind of like our whole mission behind why we do what we do. So I'm going to put those in there, and you can tap in with me whenever. Thanks.
Sweet. All right. So we have covered a lot. And this is does anyone so far have any questions? No? So that either we're doing an amazing job of delivering information or y'all are sleeping. No, just kidding. You're not. I can see your face. Thank you so much for those of y'all that can get your cameras on. It helps us to see your faces so we know if you're into what we're sharing or not so much. So James, do you have any final thoughts on values?
Yeah, just go into yourself and think about what's important to your life, and start to really analyze, what sets your soul on fire, what makes your heart tick, and try to figure out a way to tell a story in that way. Because for me, it's easier for me to tell a nice story if I care about what I'm telling about, you know what I'm saying? And when those values come into play, these are things that are really important to us, like community, like family, like good grades, like culture. These are things that are important to us. So when things are important to us, we tend to tell more powerful stories because we care about the story we're telling. So that's it. That's all I got.
Awesome. I was trying to find the Facebook group so I could share it with y'all in the chat, but James didn't talk long enough. Sorry. But we'll get, so really quick, if everyone can type their names. So just want to do some housekeeping before we get to the homework and open up to discussion. We set aside an extra 30 minutes on this first class, expecting that introductions were going to take a lot longer than they did. And that basically that we're going to ask some questions before we go to the homework as well. But I just wanted to check in with Janelle to see how you want to, if she's there, have people, unless you're writing names down, Janelle, so you know who's here.
I got a question.
Yes.
How do I send it? Like, am I sending it to you or?
The message, you can send it to the whole group or you can just send it.
What the problem is, here's the problem. Me and my brother, we don't have a everyone sent to everyone thing. I don't know why, but.
Okay, if you want, you can just send it to me. I see the whole chat anyway, or James or whomever is coming up.
Okay.
Because I just want to make sure that Janelle knows who all to get swag bags to.
Oh.
I'm putting my name in the chat.
I'm gonna put mine in twice.
Me too.
I'm just joking.
So one of the cool things, and Janelle said a little bit at the beginning of the class, is once we finish the class, I'm not sure when she's going to send them, but that you guys, by participating, are going to get some cool headsets and some other cool stuff just for participating. And the intention is that it will help you to get you one step closer to being successful in your digital storytelling. Those wireless headsets make a huge difference in the sound, especially if you're recording from a distance. But yeah, I like them. Okay, cool. So any questions while y'all are typing? If you've already typed your names in the chat, does anybody have any new thoughts, any ideas? Like, has your definition of digital storytelling evolved or changed in any way, or are you like, it's exactly what I thought it was? Okay. Anybody? All right. So today we learned a new skill on how to get our brains working a little bit more effectively by having that stream of thought. Whether we're saying the things out loud, it's better to say the things out loud while we're talking without stopping for 40 seconds. That really is effective in getting the brain to activate, and even doing it before a test, if you can find a place to just go and like talk for 20 seconds to 40 seconds and just not stop and let the thoughts come into our brains. Oftentimes that helps to dump any blocks. That way when we go into our tests, we are more effective. Like James and I both experienced it in class, where we had a thought and then it just poof, just went away. And then as soon as we started talking, then the thought came back. Like we remembered what it was, or at least I think I did. But I'm pretty sure James did. But that's how it happens. Like, it's like when we're looking for our car keys, or we're looking for something, and we're looking, and like we probably looked in that place for it like 10 times. And then as soon as we stop looking, it's like, it's right there. It's been there the whole time. It happens the same way with our thoughts. And you know, that's like one of the coolest things that I've ever learned about how the brain works, is as soon as we stop trying so hard, or trying hard, it becomes easy. Okay, homework. Are you guys ready for homework? Yay! I love homework. Not really. I do, actually. I'm a geek. I like school. I like good grades too.
Abby, it's gonna be all right. We got you.
Yeah. It's not hard.
No.
So your homework is to begin to develop your story that you want to share and tell. Oh, babies. At the end, at the final class. And this could be spoken word. This could be a photo that you take, or it could be a short video production. But this week, we haven't started talking about equipment, a little bit about editing programs, but we haven't talked a whole bunch about how you're going to do it. This week is all about identifying the story that you have to tell. What's the story inside of you that you can bring out and share with everybody, and that you feel ready to share? And identifying your values and vision, that's going to be part of it. I'm going to post that worksheet in the Facebook group. And then, you know, once you work through that, you'll be able to have a clearer vision of what kind of a story you might want to tell. And
I'll just add one thing. As far as, I mean, this is huge, coming in and trying to like figure out the story first before you just go out and do. I'm a firm believer in like getting my hands wet and going out and just making things happen. That's how I've built my success so quickly. But what I had to learn in that process was taking a step back and really crafting my story before I went out and did. Because I just did this video project for my newest release called By Design. And I had to go back to that location 3 separate times because I didn't get the shots that I need. I wasn't telling the story in the way that I wanted to, because I was just going out like just haphazardly shooting whatever I wanted to shoot without really thinking of a story at all. You know, it finally came together in the end, but it was gas, it was time, it was energy expended that I didn't necessarily need to spend if I would have just taken half of that time, maybe even a quarter of that time, and just wrote out a little storyline and then just went out and made sure that I told that story, you know? So there's a huge value in figuring out what this story is going to be before we go out and make it happen. So, yeah.
On the flip side of that, don't not create because you don't have a plan. Also. Because we can get stuck in that trap too. Like, I'm not ready yet. I need to do this first. I need to take this class first. And I'm speaking my truth right now, because that's what I got stuck in, that vortex of workshops and learning. I had to take this class before I could ever do this next thing. So don't let that inhibit you as either. Make a plan and execute the plan, but don't not do something. Like, when the moment of creativity strikes, I guarantee you James isn't going to not write a verse because he doesn't have a full vision for it. He's going to write it down, right?
Every time.
And I'm going to take the picture. I might not know what my message is yet, but I see something, and our creative minds are like, that is magic. We take the picture. And then later on figure out the rest of the story behind the image, you know? So that process happens as well. It goes both ways. But what we want you to start to do is formulate that structure in your art and your digital storytelling. The cool thing is that next week when we start class, we're going to do the same exercise. Not 40 seconds, but it's going to be like 10 to 20 seconds. I haven't decided yet. And I want you all to do the same introduction. And I promise you, it's going to be so much easier than this very first one, because you're going to be able to come up with a plan. You now know what is coming, so you can prepare for it. All right. So homework, values and vision. I'm going to post what our definition for our group is of what values are. And the values and vision worksheet, and then come up with a story idea for this next week. This next week, we're going to start talking about different equipment, different programs, and different ways to take your idea and basically the technical part of creating your story. Today is all about tapping into that place in our minds and in our hearts and in our lives that brings the message out, that brings the digital story out, and knowing that it can look like anything from a 30-second reel on Instagram to a minute-long TikTok video, or however long TikToks are. I don't know TikTok. So if anyone wants to help me out on figuring out how to do TikToks, I'd be so happy.
Who are TikTok people? Do we got any TikTok people up in here?
Yeah, TikTok. Who TikToks? No?
No? Oh, she do? Okay.
Skyla, do you TikTok?
Abby, do you TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't make videos. I just watch them. So, yeah.
My kid likes to make me watch TikToks. But I can't, like, as a creative person, I cannot for the life of me like get it. I'm not afraid of getting in front of a camera, but like it just isn't, it's not happening. I tried. And I don't know if I'm being too much of a perfectionist, so y'all can help me in that area too. But so what platform, that's the other thing too, is what platform will you be using to deliver your message? That's another thing to think about. But back to the homework. Sorry, I totally got off like squirrel. There's like shiny TikToks out there. Are y'all super happy that the app isn't going away though? Did you know it was going to go away potentially?
all because we pranked the president.
Did you? Yeah, for real, for real. But so this week is
Oh,
just,
Uncle Donald.
yeah, just figuring out your story. This week is all about figuring out what story you want to tell and how you're going to tell it. Okay.
Sounds great.
Does everybody have the ability to get into the Facebook group? Who doesn't? Who can't get into the Facebook group?
Oh, I don't have Facebook.
Okay.
Or Instagram. So yeah.
Okay.
You speak for.
So.
Oh, we don't have. Well, me and my brother, we don't have Facebook or Instagram either.
You guys have emails set up to get you
Yeah,
guys
email.
signed up into this class?
Yeah, we got emails.
Okay, can you put your email into the chat right now, into the Zoom group chat that we're having right here?
Even
you
if
as well, Abby? If anybody does not have Facebook or Instagram, let me know. The Facebook group is specific for Facebook, so Facebookers, please get on there. On Instagram, go ahead and message me. My link is right here in the chat as well, if you want to do it that way.
What? I'm sorry, I'm laughing. Jasmine, whoever was on Jasmine's profile just now was cracking me up.
That's hilarious.
What was that, James? So I got Davy Joe's email. So we'll figure out a way, maybe do a group email.
Okay. Can you log those emails down, Roxanne?
Yeah,
I was gonna
save the
email
whole
them to you.
chat.
All right, cool.
Hey, Cavell, can you put your email in there too? She hopped off. That's Jasmine's daughter, so I was gonna have her put her email in there.
That's right.
Awesome. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, and James, if you don't have anything to add, we are POW.
No, I was just sending you a couple emails that Rashawn and Curtis sent to me privately so that you would have those as well. Yeah, I mean, don't let this overwhelm you. Just think of some things that are important. Think of those values. It won't be a too extensive worksheet, so it's not like we're giving you massive amounts of homework. We just want you to start thinking about, what's important in your life and what that definition that we came up with together is, and how to tell a story from that. So it should be super simple this week, and then we'll get into some deeper stuff on how we're going to be able to create this story once we get some ideas flowing and communicate on that. So thank you guys for being awesome tonight, though. It's been a great class. This is a great start.
Yes, it's been really fun. So next week, though, a lot more. Come with questions. James and I want to talk less and hear y'all more.
Big facts.
Because we can talk all day until the day is like from sunrise to sunset nonstop. It's like lullaby. But anyway, yes, thank you guys so much. I totally appreciate you being here, and thank you, Janelle, for making this possible.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jasmine.
I was gonna say my daughter Davy Jo's so studious. She's already working on a video on my phone, so I don't know how to, but she's already playing. So, but yeah, thank you for joining, and I'll send you a few more emails that I have on my end, and then also update First People's Fund. They're the other group that I had failed to not mention, but this is a training that's first of its kind. So you guys are part of a unique training opportunity, digital storytelling. So thank you for being here. And yeah, just if you don't have Facebook, we'll send out the emails, and if I don't have your address, and then I'll send out an email as well, and be sending out that swag bag. And I'm excited. Yeah, swag. But
I'm all
thank you
about it.
guys.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll work for swag. I need that shirt.
We'll work for swag. Yeah. It's good stuff. Mhm. All right. So we'll see you guys next week.
Okay. Sounds good.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Let's get it.
See ya. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
See you guys later. Have a great night.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yes.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Peace out, everybody. All right.
Hey, I'm
Good
trying to
session.
stop the recording.